Hello yogis, and welcome to part 2 of yoga for herniated discs and sciatica. Hopefully by this stage your pain is beginning to lessen a little and you're finding it a bit easier to move around, but you still have to be super mindful of your lower back during any movements that you're doing, not just on the yoga mat. Always got to think about keeping your lower back in extension, not letting it round. For this yoga practice you will need 2 blocks, and if possible I would place the mat near a table or a chair or a worktop, because you might need some support for some of these exercises. Due to the period of inactivity, due to our pain, our core can get weak, our quads can get weak and our glutes get weak, and then these can compound the problem further, so we need to start working on these areas again. So if you're ready, roll out your mat and join me. Let's begin kneeling at the back of our mats. I'm sitting up on 2 blocks, so that allows for my spine to be in its natural curves really easily, so I've got that lumbar extension. Left palm on top of the right palm. Close off the eyes and just drop into the breath. Ground ourselves in this moment. Feel the breath coming in through the nostrils and leaving through the nostrils. Inhale, and on an exhale lower the chin to the chest. Inhale, bring the head up round to the left. Once it reaches the top, exhale down to the right. Inhale, reverse the circle. Once at the top, exhale, come back down to the left. Return the head to neutral. Tip the left ear to the left shoulder. Place the left hand above the right ear, and rather than pulling down on the head, you're pulling as if lengthening the right ear. So we've got a lovely neck stretch here. The right hand, if it reaches the mat, lovely, walk the fingers away. If not, let it just hang heavy, just to intensify the stretch along the right side of our neck into the upper trapezius muscles. Breathing deep here. Release the head, bring the head back to neutral. Right ear to the right shoulder. Bring the right hand up and over, and then sort of tractioning above the left ear. Left hand either just reaching for the mat, or if it reaches the mat, walk the fingers out to the side. Mentally check your position. Is your navel up and in? Have you still got the lumbar lordosis, the normal natural lumbar curve? Release, bring the head back to neutral. Sucking that navel in, mindfully keeping the lower back in extension. Come onto your knees. Place the left foot forward into a low lunge and use your blocks on their highest level. So we're in a restorative low lunge. So we've still got our lower back in a safe position. Sucking that navel up and in. Our hip flexors can become so tight when we have back issues. So here we've got a lovely stretch coming into our right hip flexor. Find your height, your level where you need your block so that you're comfortable. Check that the left knee is not going beyond the left ankle. Breathing here. Push back through the left heel to carefully come back to kneeling. And then carefully bring the right leg forward, maintaining spinal alignment the whole time. Back toes can be curled or flat, yogi's choice. Stretching the left hip flexor here. Breathing slow and deep, 5 breaths. come out, push through that right heel. Bring the blocks to the left side of the mat because you'll need them there shortly. Now I'm coming up to standing, so mindful. Keep that spine, that lower spine in extension as you carefully come up. If you're near a counter or a chair, you can use that to help you. Standing in mountain, feet hip width apart, drawing up through the navel, being mindful of that lower spine. So you're not tucking the tailbone under, but you're not sticking the bottom out, but you're just letting that natural curve be there. Inhale, think tall, up through the spine, and then lean back very slightly through the upper back. And as we exhale, using our core, come forward. Inhale, think up and back. Exhale, pulling forward from our core. One more, inhale, up and back, activate the core as we exhale, coming back up into neutral. Inhale, arms up, cross the right hand in front of the left, exhale to shoulder height, inhale, cross the left hand in front of the right, overhead, exhale all the way down, and again. Inhale, you can look up, left hand crosses in front, arms back down to shoulder. Inhale, right hand crosses in front. Arms all the way back down, integrating the head as well. Inhale, arms up, right hand crosses in front, exhale, shoulder height, inhale, left hand crosses in front, exhale all the way down. Inhale, arms up to shoulder height, palms forward, exhale, bring the hands behind, inhale, palms together overhead, exhale down to heart center. These are our sun salutations. Inhale, palms forward, exhale, arms back, inhale, arms together, exhale, palms down to heart center. One more, inhale to shoulder height, exhale, arms back, inhale, palms together overhead, looking up, exhale, down to heart center. Hands by your side. See if you can rise up onto tiptoe. This could be very challenging. Exhale down. Inhale, see if you can rise up. Exhale down. If you've got a chair or a counter nearby, you can use that for support. Exhale down. Wonderful. Being mindful of our spine again, navel up and in. Notice how you're feeling now. Carefully step the left foot back. We're coming into a high lunge position. I've got my hands at heart center. If you have a chair or a countertop nearby, then just hold on to it for support. Exhale, lower all the way down. The knee doesn't have to go very far down, but the left knee may touch the mat. And on an inhale, you straighten both legs. So we're working our right quad and we're working our glutes, areas that can get very weak, but our spine is safe. And you may only be going down a tiny, tiny amount, and that's absolutely fine. And you may be holding on to a chair or a counter to do this, and that is absolutely fine. Exhale on the down, inhale as you straighten. Turn the toes to face inwards now. So we've got our feet parallel. We're coming into a very slight variation of a wide-legged forward fold, but safely, so we can stretch our hamstrings. So imagine sticking your tailbone out, keeping that navel up and in, so you're keeping that spine in extension. Either hands onto a chair, the countertop, or I'm using two blocks. I can't go much further forward than this because my left leg really doesn't want to. And if you can't reach the blocks and you haven't got a chair, place your hands on your thighs, being mindful the whole time of that core being up and in and that lumbar spine in extension. This is a safe way to stretch your hamstrings. Carefully come back up on an inhale, keeping that lumbar extension. Turn the left toes out, right toes are now at the back. We've switched our lunge position. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, straighten both legs. Again, You can be holding on to something for support because you could be quite unsteady. Keeping that navel up and in, keeping the lumbar spine in extension. So important to keep our backs safe. Exhale down, inhale rise. Now you may only find that you can do 2 or 3. You don't have to do the full set. Come lengthways on the mat again. So we're now in a squatting position, a goddess position. So heels are in, toes are turned out. Exhale, squat down. Inhale, rise up. I've got my arms at heart center at the moment. Exhale down, keeping the knees coming out over the toes. But if you want to work a bit harder, you can raise your arms up. Still keeping that tailbone sticking out slightly rather than tucked under. Really working our quads and our glutes here. Exhale, squat and stay here. If you can, for 5 breaths. Doesn't have to be much of a bend, really working our quads. Exhale, come back to standing. Heel toe or wiggle your feet in together. I'm just going to move the block out the way so you can see my feet. Mountain pose. Notice how you're feeling. Really try and tune into the sensations of the body. Often we become injured because we've learned to ignore our body signals. Step to the back of the mat and carefully come down to your knees, keeping the navel in, protecting that lower spine. I'm bringing the blocks just to the other side so they're out of the way. Coming onto all fours. Spine has still got that lovely lumbar lordosis. Cow position. Belly is lowered but still engaged, looking up. 5 breaths, no cats. Mustn't round. Come back to neutral. I'm now placing a block ready for my forehead, heart to earth pose. Arms to the top of the mat. Hips stay above the knees. And I place my forehead onto the block. Lower belly is engaged. Breathing here. Navel up and in, remove the block or 2 blocks if you're on 2 blocks. Keeping the extension, lower the hips, come down onto our forearms, then place our chin in our hands, crocodile. Lovely restorative pose, puts our vertebrae back into natural alignment. Great for herniated discs and sciatica. 5 breaths here. Send the breath to the lower spine. Send the oxygen to where we need it. You can stay in crocodile, or if you feel ready to be a bit more active, let's move into Sphinx. Forearms are parallel, elbows sort of roughly under the shoulders, forward. If you feel your lower back pinching, you bring the elbows forward. Think opening through the heart, shining the heart forward. Don't crank the neck back, but your gaze is slightly forward. Breathing deep here. Great heart opener. Come down flat, forehead on the mat, arms stretched out overhead, Advasana, reversed corpse pose. Another great resting pose for when we have a herniated disc or any backache. Inhale and exhale. Keep breathing. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, lower. Starting to build a bit of strength into our glutes. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, lower. And start working on a bit of back strength. If you want, you can now inhale, lift the right leg and the left arm. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the left leg and the right arm. You'll know if that's too much. If it's too much, just carry on very gently lifting each leg on its own. Inhale, right leg lifts, left arm. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg lifts, right arm lifts. Exhale, lower. We've worked our back muscles, so we now need to come into our counter pose. We cannot do a forward fold. So we're coming into our flapping fish. So raise the left knee up as if aiming in towards our ribs as far as is comfortable. Right, the hands are interlaced, right elbow is pointing to the top of the mat, left elbow pointing down towards the raised knee, head cradled on the forearm. Breathe deeply here. Great resting position, great counter pose for back bends. So comfortable if you're suffering with sciatica. Carefully reverse your way out of that position to switch sides. Right knee bends up. Left elbow comes to the top of the mat, right elbow down towards our bent knee, cradling the head. We are here for 5 breaths, but remember you can be in this position for as long as you want to be, and it's a great sleeping position as well. Carefully come out, hands under the shoulders, navel in. On an inhale, keeping extension in the lower spine, come back to all fours. We're carefully going to come onto our backs. I'm just sweeping off bits of pebbles and rock. Keep the extension in the lower back, come onto one side, and as we lower, come onto one forearm, then the other, keeping the extension in that lower back so we're not imprinting our lower spine. Knees bent, bring the block nearby. So keep the arch, and on an inhale we are lifting the tailbone very slightly, using the glutes, keeping the lower back in the arch, just to place a block under our sacrum so we can come into a restorative bridge. Keep the knees bent. Breathing here. Bridge is a great pose for herniated disc. Helps to get that herniation back in, but in the beginning it needs to be restorative. We don't want to try and overwork our back muscles yet. Ten breaths here in this lovely restorative pose. Carefully lift the tailbone up, and as we come down we're keeping the arch in the back, so our tailbone is going to land without our lower spine touching the back. Extend the knees long. My block is just out of reach, so I'm carefully coming up just so I can grab the other block. You do not need to. Extend the legs either straight out long, or if you want to, you can pop a block under each knee to just take any pressure off the lower back. Focus on the breath. Let it be natural. Don't try and control it. And try and tune into any sensations in the body, starting at the feet and mentally working our way up the legs, to the hips, up the back, the arms, shoulders, face. Is our tongue relaxed? Neck. Is the chest relaxed? Can we feel the belly rising with our breath? And once you've done the body scan, see if you can hold your whole body in awareness while you're lying here. Gently bring some movement back into your wrists and ankles. Stretch up overhead. Bend each knee in carefully, feet flat on the mat. Roll onto your side, navel in as we bring ourselves up to a seated position. Kneeling, if that's comfortable. Inhale the arms up overhead, palms together. Gathering in all that wonderful healing energy, bring it down to your heart center, thanking yourself for taking this time. Bow your head to your hands. Namaste. Please leave me a comment below, let me know how you're getting on. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Take great care of your back. Self-care, nurturing, so important at all times, but especially when you are injured. Here is the harbour of Los Abrigos, a lovely little fishing village. It does amazing fish dishes in the restaurants.